Hey, folks, just real quick before we start here, regarding tickets. By the way, so Ohio State football. So there's not a public sale, but there are opportunities to buy tickets through our official Buckeye Bowl Club, our Buckeye Club Bowl Trip package. So Ohio State football season ticket holders are encouraged to submit their requests for Peach Bowl tickets and championship game tickets at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/CFP. So that's live on our website right now. Again, ohiostatebuckeyes.com/CFP. Season ticket holders can submit requests for tickets there. The deadline to submit requests is 4 p.m. on December 9th. The general public interested in purchasing tickets to the Peach Bowl can view options at the official Buckeye Bowl Club trip package, which is also, the links are there at ohiostatebuckeyes.com CFP. So ticket information, ticket availability, applications, actually is the most important thing, applications for tickets for the game, go to ohiostatebuckeyes.com/CFP. We'll get going in momentarily with Coach Day. ohiostatebuckeyes.com/CFP.
Jerry, could you repeat all that? When does Ticketmaster step in?
They can go to the website now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just an FYI, Ohio State women's basketball opens Big Ten play with an 82-70 win over Rutgers. Buckeyes are now 8-0.
Cheering in the media room.
All right, who theoretically would be interested in hearing about the media schedule at the Peach Bowl? Media schedule at Peach Bowl? Anybody? All right, so we're going to start. We're going to start on Monday, December 26th. We're going to start on Monday, December 26th. 26th. We're going to start with arrival day for both teams. So Georgia will have a Zoom from their hotel whenever they arrive. Ohio State will have a Zoom from our hotel when we arrive. That's on the 26th. On the 27th, Ohio State will have offensive availability. So that would be 5 players and a coordinator. That'll be at 8:30 a.m. And these are at the Westin Peachtree Plaza in the Savannah room. I would assume so. Yeah. Okay. Wednesday. So then Wednesday will be Ohio State defense at 8:30. Thursday is the Peach Bowl Media Day. And that for Ohio State, that's at 8:30 a.m. And then on Friday is the joint coaches press conference, pregame press conference. So you got offensive availability, defense, and then the media day leading up. Sounds like it. Yeah, sounds like full team. Yeah. Yeah. Offense and defense on at the same time. So yeah, offense 8:30 on Tuesday, defense 8:30 on Wednesday. Yep. That's what it reads as. Yes. Yeah. 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 So it just says head coach availability, and then location for Georgia is Atlanta Marriott Marquis /Zoom. Ohio State is Omni Atlanta /Zoom. And that's all it says for that day. So there you go. All right. Yeah.
4 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. That's the
Last week's game, my reason to believe that I like that.
Kenny Gordon, Terrell Pryor, you got some bad ones. Cocktails that dude. Lunar knows who's Lunar knows. Scotty doesn't know. Lunar knows. Precedents happen, man.
I want to get to the one in Los Angeles. The Cardinals, like, they have to win the one in Atlanta first.
And you're like, either way, no.
Listen.
Stay at home. We got a hard luck count.
Yeah. Nothing. I think that I looked at and looked like, yeah.
I don't even think so. Bad job. I did a turnaround. Yeah, I like dogs. I like dogs. More of the right down. Present coverage. The Browns and the Dalvin Hook are keeping them alive. Playing against him. Brandon just lost his game.
Nearly don't drink. Here, have it. Dry state. So much.
John.
Hey. We haven't this week.
We make a trade. Be like 3 5-star recruits. County draft next, right? You know, and then like Buckeyes get pucks for 1 game. 2 5-stars on the 14. Okay. All right. I did it.
Mike's on. This is not on. It is
That's my guy right there. There's no way this mic's wrong yet. Well, that would be the show. What's the podcast? Shoot the shit. You're in Georgia.
Oh, I guess it was Georgia.
You know what never happened? You know what never happened was Alabama losing to LSU in the regular season and then beating LSU the next one. That did happen.
Was that the 6-3 game or whatever that was? That godforsaken 9-3 game. That was the game of the century.
That's why I like just like backing in. Backing in is impressive.
What is that?
Urban Meyer 2016 back in the boys. Yeah, sure. And then it happens.
Exciting day for us. Third CFP appearance in the last 4 years, and so certainly a lot of energy and life in the Woody today. So excited to get going here on this month.
Okay, we'll open up the press conference today. Front row, Dave Biddle, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, how do you get your guys back up for this? I'm sure, like I heard your comments earlier today, it seems like it might be not that hard to get them back up for it because now you have like a second life. But is that a challenge? Because CJ was talking about things when people asked him, are you going to play the bowl game if you guys aren't in the CFPs? Like, I'm not sure yet. Is that a challenge to get them back up for this, or is it like not a challenge at all?
Oh, I mean, today there was just so much energy in the Woody. You could feel it when you walked in early on. We had a team meeting before the selection and had a staff meeting before and just talked about what the possibilities would be. And then when you saw the name come up, there was just a shot of adrenaline in the whole building. So the goal was to be in the CFP at this point. That was it when you started the season. Here we are. Strange way to get here, but that's it at the end of the day. So it's a new season, and you learn from the past. And there's been precedents on this. You look last year. Georgia, lost to Alabama in the SEC championship. I think it was 41-24, and then went on to win the whole thing. So now it's just a matter of what we do moving forward. Certainly, the game at the end of the year is going to be in the back of our minds as motivation, but now it's just all about maximizing this month.
Right behind him, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Speaking of CJ, obviously there's been a lot of conversations about his legacy of a guy who never won a Big Ten championship, never won a game. He was even talking that much. For a guy like this to get this opportunity to maybe change the way some people view him, how big of an opportunity is that for him, and how has he been through all this?
I think this whole thing is an unbelievable opportunity. You just never know how these years are going to go, and here we are. And this opportunity wasn't available a few days ago, wasn't available yesterday, but it is now. And I think that's the thing as you look into last week, everyone's just dying to have this opportunity to have a shot to go win this. And now we do. And so whoever it is, the whole team wants that opportunity, and life's all about that. So what are we going to do with it? That's the challenge here this next month.
Third row, far left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, obviously there was so much build up to the Michigan game and you guys didn't get the result you wanted. So what do you maybe change about your approach this time around as you look to achieve a better result?
Well, we've been, in this CFP 3 of the last 4 years. So we have a pretty good plan, I think, for this month. We start off really working on fundamentals. We put 2 practices in last week talking about this being in this very situation. Don't wake up on Sunday morning and be surprised if you have an opportunity to go play for a national championship. We're not going to feel sorry for ourselves, but we needed help and we got help. So put 2 good practices in last week, and then it all came together this weekend, and so here we are. I think we did a really good job in 2000 and getting ready to play in that Clemson game. We'll use that same formula as we prepare for this game, but I think the fundamentals is the first part we got to really hammer in the first week or so, and then this game plan, and we try to do as much as we can here on campus, and then we get on site down in Atlanta and go through a game week preparation. So certainly looking back on the last game, we just had too many explosive plays, and so as coaches, you got to make sure you're looking at, are you putting your players in position to be successful? That's it. And then if not, then why isn't that getting done? And so, a lot of looking in the mirror last week and figuring out why that didn't happen. And so, at the end of the day, it comes down to accountability and ownership, and it starts with me, and then it goes right to the coaches, then on to the players. And, it's easy to point the finger at somebody else or what's the reason why. And what you have to do is take a hard look in the mirror and figure out why that is. And so there was a lot of those great conversations that happened last week, as hard as they were, but we'll find out if we can come out of this thing stronger.
Across the aisle, Jacob Bench, the lantern.
Building off of that, you mentioned a second ago that game at the end of the season, using it as motivation for the potential to have a rematch essentially in the national championship stakes. It's just astounding. Just what would that mean to have that rematch and to use that motivation just to have that possibility where Ohio State and Michigan can meet in the national championship? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but that would be unbelievable, right? I mean, it would be historic to have that opportunity. And to say that we haven't thought about that, of course we have. Everybody's thought about that. But the draw that we have is we got to go down to Georgia and play the defending national championships in Atlanta. Which is, if someone said that at the beginning of the year, you get to go play the defending national champs in Georgia. Let's go do it. You got to go play those guys in order to go play for a national championship. So that's where our focus is going to go, and then we'll go from there. They're a very good team. Kirby's obviously done a great job, and especially really breaking that threshold last year on the national championship. That's something that got a lot of respect for. He did that. That was a long time coming there, and he did it. And hats off to him. And then they came back this year really playing well and did a good job working through the whole season undefeated. Played really good in the SEC championship game, and they have a lot of weapons and they're very well coached. So big challenge for everybody across the board, but something that going into the season, we knew we were going to be in the situation to go play for it all. Georgia was going to be in the way, and so however we got here, we're here, and now it's time to go to work.
Bill Landis, Rivals.
Hey, Ryan. Sorry. You mentioned on Saturday on ESPN that you guys weren't going to play tight. There was not going to be sort of any of that feeling, I guess, maybe you had leading into your last game. Is the fact that you all are probably going to be underdogs in a game like this? It's not something this program experiences all that much. Can that help you guys play looser on this kind of stage?
Maybe we'll have to see as the week goes on and as the month goes, but. It all just happened really fast here in the last 7 days. So get our feet underneath us and go to work. But, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to give us a chance in this game. We'll have to see. But it really is just about the guys in the Woody right now and their mindset as they go on this journey here this month. But, it'll be something that, will be unique to this year. Haven't been in that situation.
Right next door, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, this past week, did you find it a little refreshing to be able to do that much self-scout and not know what's in front of you just because you can kind of focus on yourself and yourself only and not even be able to think about, who you might be playing in the weeks ahead?
No, I mean, we wanted to be playing the Big Ten championship game and that hurt. So no, it was not a good week. It was an awful week. But we did a lot of that. We looked at self-scout. We looked at Georgia. We looked at up north. Even got ahead on the game plans on those. Just that if we're in this situation, let's not be a week behind. We worked pretty hard on that in all three of those areas, and so it was good to take a hard look at everything that went on this season and figure out where we need to be as we head into this stretch here in December.
Ryan, as you mentioned, the excitement in this building. Like you said, this was an expectation. You guys wanted to play for national championship all year. At what point, or maybe you even talked to them today about it, like, do you let them have that excitement and then flip the switch and say, okay, we have to get to work to go too?
I think you just hit it on both ends. That this is an opportunity that we didn't have just 48 hours ago, and now we do. So what do you want to do with it? And the team that prepares the most, the team that maximizes each day as we head into December 31st, the team that's going to win. That's it, and we can control it. Yesterday we were not in control, now we are, and that's going to be the challenge. So it was super exciting for our guys. I mean, there was no target yesterday. We like you said, we had nothing to focus on, and then the minute you see your name pop up on that screen, now you got something to work towards, and certainly that was really invigorating for the whole program and exciting.
Right next door, Tony Goodman, Buckeye Huddle.
Ryan, on ESPN yesterday, you talked about moving forward, you're going to play loose, you're going to be aggressive, you're going to go at people. What does that mean to you? And is that something that you didn't do against Michigan or?
Yeah, I just think that, when it all gets taken away from you, it makes you just kind of, sit there and realize, that, you're going to have one shot to go play Georgia, or whoever team you play, and that we just got to let it all out and let it go. And, there'll be no fear of failure. We're going to go play as hard as we possibly can and be aggressive. But that's the way that we've done it here, And so, but when it almost all gets taken away from you, it's a stark reminder that, you got to make sure that's how way you're playing your game. And that's the way that we're going to attack this month.
Brian, you've talked a lot over the last year or so about the pressure of this program. You can't lose and those type of things.
Yeah.
For you personally, another loss to Michigan, but now you get this chance to prove something on a bigger level, a different level. How do you feel that as opposed to everything else that you talked about?
It's an opportunity that, that you weren't guaranteed, and now you have it. And so what are we going to do with it? That's all I keep thinking about, is that this is an opportunity that wasn't guaranteed, and now we do have it. So let's go do it. And certainly a lot of people counted us out, and here we are. So kind of like being in this role, but now we got to go do something with it. Doesn't mean anything if we don't do anything. Just being upset or having a second opportunity is not going to mean anything if we don't do anything with it. But what an unbelievable chance. Go do something real special.
You used kind of that concept of the underdog in the past. Maybe sometimes even when you guys weren't an underdog, you leaned on that a little bit. Well, now you are. I mean, Georgia's defending national champion. You clearly would be the underdog against Michigan in most cases. How does that sort of change? Does that change the mindset this week? Is it something you have already felt around here a little bit, that there's a different chip on the shoulder?
I think we'll see as the month goes on, but I hear what you're saying. And they're a very, very good team. They're defending national champs. They, just put 50 on LSU in the SEC championship game. They're a very good team. And so, we're going to have to be on our game. We have to play really good. And so, we'll see as the preparation goes. But, these guys obviously are going to have our guys' attention in a big way. And they know how they have to play in order to win this game. But, how fun is this going to be to go play down there? With a team that's just had it all taken away from them, and now they have an opportunity again. So, just excited to get to work here.
Third row right, Dylan Davis. Dylan, where's that?
I know on ESPN today you said that you have an update on Jackson in the coming days.
Yeah.
Is that a decision of whether he's going to play whether he was going to opt in, or is that still a physical matter?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the fold, Whitney Harding, WCMH. Over on the far right.
Speaking of that, Ryan, how important is it going to be this next month to get not just Jackson, but everybody healthy, not just physically, but mentally after what happened last week?
Yeah. I think, Jackson we'll see, but everybody else, I think we should have. And, that was a little bit part of the story a little bit this year. And to be at full strength or almost at full strength is going to be important to go beat these guys. So, great to get a couple weeks, and even last week got a little bit more rest. And, I think that, the running back position, especially those guys, it was hard for them. There's nobody that wanted to get on the field more than Trey and Mayan, but they just had some things that were just limiting what they could do. And I give a lot of credit for keep trying every week, but it was just, there's two things. There's one, you can get, bruised, or you can get kind of hurt. There's things where you get injured that you just physically can't do it. And it gets frustrating. This allows us some time to heal from those so that, we can hopefully get some of that stuff behind us, so we can have a full strength team going into it. And it's a lot of different positions, but I give those guys a lot of credit for trying it every week and getting out there and grinding through it. But it'll be nice to have, be at full strength.
WBNS 10 TV.
Coach, you've used the term scars a lot with these guys from Oregon, Michigan last year. This is probably one of the deeper scars this program's faced in a while, but you have an opportunity to immediately heal it. What is the mindset right now around the Woody? Just 2 days ago, I'm sure it wasn't, it was as solemn as it's been. How do you immediately flip the page like that?
Well, we talked about it midweek when we went out to practice, and a couple guys, and, we talked to the team about, if this happens over the weekend, don't wake up again on Sunday and be like surprised that this is happening. Like this is going to happen, and we're going to have an opportunity. And when that opportunity comes, we got to be ready to roll. And it's all kind of happened the way that we thought it would. And so now we just got to go run with it and go do it. And again, I keep saying opportunity because if you think about what could be, boy, what an amazing story this could be. But I think our guys understand that they know what happened, and they know what could happen. So at the, the goal was to be in this situation not fourth, not whatever, but not to lose that game, but to be in the CFP. We're in the CFP. We're 2 games away from winning the national championship, and that's the mindset of our guys.
About goals. If things break the way they do, there's a chance that every goal is still in front of you. Beating Michigan, winning the national title. Is that surreal to think about? To kind of put in perspective where you were just a week ago?
Yeah, but what matters is if we play better. That's it. I mean, we have to play better on offense. We have to play better on defense. We have to play better on special teams. And if we do, then it'll give ourselves a chance to do that. So we're not going to dream and do all those types of things. We got to get back to work and make sure that we're playing better in all 3 phases and executing better and playing really, really fast.
Ryan, have the seating, the rankings fall a certain way? Possibly you guys could have edged TCU for that 3rd spot and set up a rematch in Michigan in round 1. How would you have felt about that? Or would you just be glad to get in anyway, no matter what? Or what would have liked to have that game back to back?
Yeah, I mean, it was out of our hands. So, I think that's the thing that hurt the most is that, you weren't in control of everything that went on because of that game. So, wherever they put us, and we were ready to play. And, we got to win them both anyways to go do it. So we got to take care of business in this first game and go from there. All that stuff's kind of out of our control.
Coach, you said after the Michigan game, if you got in, you felt like you guys were a dangerous team. Do you still feel that way? Why? And also, how much of a benefit is it that this will be the 3rd time you guys have been in the playoff?
Yeah, we, again, being there, we know what it's like. But I think we're dangerous because, you see us in all 3 phases at certainly a good portion of the season playing at a high level. More explosive on offense. We've been really opportunistic on defense and had some really good games there. Certainly winning, on the road at Penn State was a really strong win. And in the end, that's probably put us in that spot because, getting a double-digit win on the road and really what turned out to be one of the top divisions in the country, right? I mean, you had 3 teams in the top 7. And so when you look at all that, and not playing our best football in the last game, yeah, that makes us dangerous.
Ryan, when you talk about these practices on Wednesday and Thursday and being ready, you didn't have a target. How did you evaluate those practices? Like, did it actually look like they were working towards something, or going through the motions, or what did you see?
No. I mean, it was a very focused week. It was very focused. And I thought guys really did a nice job of being locked in. I really did. And I thought we came out swinging pretty hard, and then a couple plays here and there, obviously with the explosive plays, and then getting ourselves out of rhythm there in the 3rd quarter cost us the game. And certainly hated the way it ended with those couple long runs. I mean, that just ruined the whole day really. But because it's in 7 minutes to go, it's an 8-point game, and if you just keep swinging, but it didn't happen. So was obviously very disappointed with that. But there was still a lot of good things that happened. It wasn't like, you watch the film and you're like, geez, we just got completely outmatched. It was just a lack of execution, too many big plays.
I don't want to belabor the point because I know there's maybe not much you can say about it, but is there a timeline that Jackson has a deadline to meet, or do we just have to ask all the way up till December 31st?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's the whole thing's been unfortunate, and certainly nobody wants to play more than Jackson, but it's just, we'll probably have more in a few days.
Yeah, I got a couple. First of all, what'd you send Kyle Whittingham?
Yeah, nothing yet, but we'll see how it goes. But I will say, unbelievable amount of respect for what he's done and going up against them last year in the Rose Bowl and how what a pro he is. And then to see them play the way that they did in that game doesn't surprise me because of what they've built there and how they do it. And really happy to see them win their conference championship again and go back to the Rose Bowl. And really job well done.
That was a throwaway. It doesn't count. Can you address the big plays?
Yeah.
When you dissected them, I mean, we've all looked at them. We can kind of pinpoint what happened on some of those. Was there any overriding thing with them? Is there anything you can say about what caused those breakdowns?
I think like anything, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, I mean, it's a combination of things. You always feel like as a play caller in all 3 phases that you can put your guys in better situations. That's our job as coaches, is to put them in better situations. So that's the first thing you always look at. And Could we put our players in better situations? Yes, we could. Can we execute better? Yes. And so it was a little bit of both. Certainly on the zero blitz there, the ball came out and I didn't quite make that play, and there was a couple shots down the field, and really in the first half there was those two passes that got away from us. But that's in matchup games like that, it comes down to one or two plays. It ended up being 4 or 5. And then on offense, we shot ourselves in the foot with some penalties, and again, looking at some calls you'd like to have back. Some things we didn't, a couple false starts got us out of rhythm a little bit. Got to do a better job on third down. So, I mean, there's a litany of things that we identified that we have to do a better job of.
And what can you say about what we all think was the fake punt? What happened on that play?
Yeah, I'd rather not get into it. I think, you guys have now seen that it was, and, at the end of the day, it just didn't get done. So.
Second row left, Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, Bill took a lot of what I was going to ask about. I guess you had 5 of those plays go for 45 yards or longer. You watched the game last night with Georgia. They put up 50 points and looked like were doing it in 3, 4, 5 play drives. They were hitting some junk plays there too. Just, I don't know, how important is it in this game to be letter perfect with calls, execution, et cetera, or you're going to be looking at another 50-point game going up on the board probably?
I think when you look at the CFP, and I don't know where it was based off of last year, but I think the winning team usually scores, 49 to 50 points. So, we have to play well on offense. Like you said, everything's going to have to be on point. Execution is going to have to be on point. Game plan will have to be on point. And, I think about the game we played against Clemson. I think we had 49 or something like that. So you're going to have to score points against a team like this. That's for sure.
Second row middle, Doug Lamborese, Cleveland.com.
This question is basically, can you take us through the last 190 hours of your life? But specifically, how tough was it Saturday night, immediately afterward? When did you really start to think about, hey, we could get in? And then where did you watch the USC-Utah game, and how did you watch the USC-Utah game?
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine what that was like, or maybe you can't, but it was awful. Rather not get into it, but it was a bad week. But I went back out on the road recruiting, and then that night I was doing a home visit in Cincinnati. Drove from Cincinnati to Columbus for the first half, and then made it home and watched the rest at the house.
So did you have it on radio, on your phone, on the TV, over in the passenger seat?
Yeah, on the radio. I listened on the radio. Yeah.
And did you think Saturday night after the loss we could still make it, or when do you start processing that possibility when you're dealing emotionally with such a difficult thing?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a couple of days to get there and figure out what's next. But as you start to get towards Monday, Tuesday, and get the guys together and say, okay, what's the plan for this week? All right, we got to identify what went wrong, but then, okay, what are we doing moving forward? And that's why we decided to have a team meeting and a practice on Wednesday and then on Thursday, and get out there and say, guys, we're playing, in a game here in the CFP. So we got to keep our edge. I think that's important. I think once you get into a whole week of doing nothing, you can kind of get into that off-season mode, and you get a little lazy, a little sloppy, and we didn't do that. We kept our body weights up. We got back on the field, got to work with no guarantee of anything. But the guys went out there and had a really good practice on Thursday, and said, if we make this thing, then we know we have this in the back pocket, kept our edge, and now we'll go back out there on Tuesday this week and get back to work.
And I just so we have the lens of this, when you're practicing, it's not necessarily that we're going to play a game regardless. It's not we're going to play a bowl or a playoff game. We're going to play again. You're practicing Wednesday and Thursday with this is a playoff practice.
Yeah, we're playing in the CFP. You got it.
Okay.
All right, wrap it up with front row right, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to leave a second ago. What burns at you more when you hear the nitpicking and the catchphrases that have gone on since that game a week and a half ago? Too timid play calling, giving up the new 4-2-5 defense.
I don't listen to that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
because if I did, then obviously it'd drive you insane. So you can't do that. So just put your phone away and move forward and try to coach the team.
Could I ask one quickie follow up on it? Do you think y'all were too timid in your play calling?
No, I mean, listen, you look at everything and, you try to go back and figure out what went wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, there's certain things that you want to have back always, and then there's a lot of areas that you got to, look at and figure out how you can do it better. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. And the reason I'm asking that is 27 points against Oregon. I think it was 27 against Michigan, 23 against Michigan. Those are y'all's 3 losses in the last 2 years. Obviously, you look at the big plays given up defensively, but offensively, what has been your challenge, I guess, to your offense going into heading forward now?
Well, I think it's just that we talked about is, in these big games, whether it's a CFP or in a game like that, typically the team that wins is north of 40 points. And so, that's kind of the goal. And if we're not getting that and scoring at that rate, then we put ourselves at risk of on offense relying on the defense, which, that's okay too, is to rely on your defense. And I think, defensively we got to play better, but the offensive mindset has to be that you need to be in that 40 to 50 range to go win these games.
And you touched on this a little bit a minute ago. What does it say about the Big Ten? Y'all have 2 teams in.
Yep. I think it's great.
I mean, yeah, and obviously Penn State's sitting right there also.
Yeah, I mean, 3 teams in the Big Ten East in the top 7. I think Penn State ended up 7. So, and I think they had a great year. It did some really good things. So, I think it's great for the Big Ten. I think it was, it's the whole Big Ten conference this year is hard. And we play 9 conference games. So when you look at the number of wins in the conference, there's going to be one more loss on everybody's record. Obviously, one more win, but that's a challenge. And then playing a 10th game is also part of it too. When you have a non-conference opponent like Penn State had Auburn, we had Notre Dame. I mean that all matters, and so the gauntlet of that at the end of the season, I think makes us strong. But great to see the Big Ten have 2 teams here in the CFP.
And one last thing for me, when I say Georgia, what comes to mind? What comes to mind for me is a violent defensive front. I mean, they seem to play that way, big guys. Offensively, they like to, control the ball, et cetera, that 12 personnel, et cetera. When I say Georgia to you, what comes to mind?
Well, it comes to mind is, very, like you said, a lot of talent, a lot of good players, but very well coached too, in both offense and defense. Kirby's done a great job. He's got a really good staff there, and Coach Monken's done a really good job on offense this season. And they, like you said, they play with those 2 tight ends that put you in stress in different areas, and they run the ball and they're physical, but they do a great job. And Bennett really runs the whole thing. So big challenge. That's why they're defending champs and undefeated this season.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Good, you got it, guys. Yep.